Like I said, he always got something smart to say, and I have no disrespect for any black man in this business or anything. Just keep our name out your mouth.
Yeah.
Keep our name out your mouth. He on a I had a beef with what's his name, DJ Vlad. And, you know, it's one thing, between me and Vlad.
Yeah. Right.
But then Vlad asked him a question about the situation. And, you know, Aries always got something smart to say, and I respect the fact that he was trying to bite his tongue, but he was like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Don't talk about my money or my value or what I feel about what my value is. You don't get to do that. And as a black man, you should never, ever do that, because one day you're going to be in my position. Long behold, 8 months later, him and DJ Vlad beefing about him wanting more money from Vlad.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
And I was going to say, is the juice worth the squeeze, but I shut my mouth out of respect.
This is where Marlon Wayans' point hits harder than people want to admit. When a black man in entertainment says, I know my value, the last person who should be trying to undercut him is another black man in entertainment. Because we already know how this industry plays. Hollywood will use you, underpay you, age you out, laugh at you, steal your style, and then act like you should be grateful just to be in the room. So when Marlon Wayans says his time costs what his time costs, that should not be a moment for another comedian to run to the internet and act like he doing too much. That should be a moment where you say, I may not charge what he charges, but I understand the principle. Because value is personal. What Marlon Wayans is worth to Marlon Wayans might not be what somebody else thinks he is worth. But that's not the point. The point is, he has a right to name his price. The point is, he has been in this business long enough to know what his name brings to a platform. The point is, when you've been making people laugh for decades, making movies, selling tickets, building culture, and standing on your own name, you don't have to accept every offer just because somebody has a camera and a chair. And that's where Aries Spears messed up. He jumped into somebody else's money conversation like he was the accountant of black comedy. That's a bad place to stand. Because when you publicly comment on another man's value, you better make sure your own value never gets questioned in public. And that's exactly what happened. The same conversation he had something to say about ended up knocking on his door.
Vlad and said, look, I feel like I want a little bit of bump in pay because I know my value. You once had Lord Jamar, Godfrey, Tony Yayo, Boozy, and me. All of which many times people said were your best guess. Who's the only one left? Me.
Now the tables turn, and all of a sudden he understands what it feels like when somebody else is discussing your worth like it's just content. That's why you gotta be careful. Every opinion don't need your voice. Every beef don't need your footprint. And every situation don't require you to run in with a cape, a microphone, and a hot tape. Sometimes the wisest thing a grown man can do is watch a situation and say, that ain't my business.